Good evening. Yet again, thank you so much for joining me. And the journey continues. It's Success Elementary all over again. You know, this is my passion. I love sharing this information. I love studying with people. I love giving and sharing things. As I get them, I like to share them and keep the ball rolling like that. And such a beautiful day that is. We come close to the close of a new week and the opening of another one. We're entering into a different chapter, and that's why you saw me doing all my theatrics, because we're entering into a Zen space. We are entering into a chapter which is grossly misunderstood by a lot of people. It took me a long time to get it. That's what made me dive into this whole information of personal development, mental sciences, and a deep desire in growth, in awareness of what was being mentioned by all these different authors as the subconscious mind. We finished The Art of Mastering Sexual Transmutation. It was a smash. I truly hope you're getting these nuggets the same way I intend to give it to you. And this particular chapter that we are starting on, which is chapter 12, it's called the subconscious mind. But before we dive into it and start unpacking what Napoleon Hill has got to say about the subconscious mind, I highly recommend, because from what I've understood in learning anything new, you're going to have to create a picture in your mind for you to be able to gain or grasp a good understanding of that particular subject. You have to create a picture in your mind. And our minds operate basically in pictures. And whenever a subject of the mind is mentioned, what I highly recommend you to keep into your mind, or the picture that I highly recommend to flash on the screen of your mind, is the picture of the stickman. What you see right there, the stickman stays right there. Because as we are continuing, as we are venturing into this unknown subject, which is so new and plain and so misunderstood, it's something that is so tricky to explain because it's not tangible. But you're going to have to create your own picture in your mind of what you can relate to when the subject of the subconscious mind is being mentioned. So before we dive into what Napoleon Hill has got to say, I highly recommend that you keep this guy. This is going to be your ultimate savior. This is called the stickman. Of all the principles that I've been taught in the history of learning anything, this has been the greatest thing that was ever brought to my attention. And through this study, you can never go through this thing enough times for you to gain a grasp of it. Because each and every time we are going to go over the same concept and the same principle, you're not going to find anything different about this. But you're going to shed a different layer and understand even deeper what this Success Elementary 365 days of power consciousness is all about. I continue to study and continue to put this stickman into practice whenever things get confusing, because there are a lot of terms and vocabulary which is new that is going to come across. And subconscious mind is one of those vocabularies which is not everyday language to a lot of people. But we want to generalize it and to make it as simple and as basic. And that's the beauty of Napoleon Hill and how he has managed to paint that picture so clear that you understand what he means by the subconscious mind. So I'll put it aside for now. So before we dive in, I want to invite you to go and subscribe, like, share, do whatever you have to do with these videos, because they've got the serious potential of moving you and elevating you from just being a general person to the state of a genius once you understand these principles and how they work. And once you learn to cooperate with the universe and to abide by the laws of the universe, which are unavoidable and no man has ever invented, you're going to find your life smooth sailing. A lot of people ask me, why Where do I get these ideas and where do I get the courage? Because I've got a deep understanding of how the world now operates through the study of these books. And one of the key books that I continue to study every day, which I'm sharing with you now ever since the beginning of March, is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. That book never ceases to shed more light in as far as what we are all here for, or to give us a different identity of who we are and what we are capable of doing. Those three questions. Who are you? What are you here for? What are you doing? If you but answer them honestly, I tell you, your life is never going to be the same. But understand, as you plant new seeds into your mind, as you sway your mind to think of good thoughts, the results are not going to be immediate. Yes, some are going to be immediate, because immediately you're going to start seeing things a little bit different. Your perspective is going to change. And I've told you countless times ever since we started these lessons of Success Elementary, of 365 days of power consciousness, that the goal is to help 1 million people to just gain a different perspective of how life operates and how life is all about. I can give you money, I can give you gifts, I can give you a car, I can give you a house, I can give you everything else that's physical. But those things can perish and depreciate. But if I give you a different perspective, I guarantee you, your life is never going to be the same. You can literally take that different perspective to the grave. That I guarantee you. I guarantee you for sure. So starting now, let's start on the new chapter, a new way of thinking, a different way in which Napoleon Hill has shaded and painted this picture for us to use and to enhance our lives, and how basically we live from day to day, either in business, relationships, just life in general. It doesn't have to be necessarily about money, but if you understand these things, you gain a better understanding and a better insight of how to achieve the good things that you want to achieve. So it goes. Chapter 12, the subconscious mind, the connecting link, the 11th step towards riches. The subconscious mind consists of a field of consciousness in which every impulse of thought that reaches the objective mind through any of the 5 senses is classified and recorded, and from which thoughts may be recalled or withdrawn as letters may be written from a filing cabinet. It receives and files sense impressions or thoughts regardless of their nature. You may voluntarily plant in your subconscious mind any plan, thought, or purpose which you desire to translate into its physical or monetary equivalents. The subconscious acts first on the dominating desire, which has been mixed with emotional feeling, such as faith. Consider this in connection with the instruction given in the chapter on desire. For taking the 6 steps there outlined, and the instructions given in the chapter on building and executing of plans, and you will understand the importance of the thought conveyed. The subconscious mind works day and night through a method of procedure unknown to men. The subconscious mind draws upon the forces of infinite intelligence for the power with which it voluntarily transmutes one's desire into their physical equivalent, making use always of the most practical media by which this end may be accomplished. You cannot entirely control your subconscious mind, but you can voluntarily hand over to it any plan, desire, or purpose which you wish transformed into concrete form. Read again instructions for using the subconscious mind in the chapter of autosuggestion. There is plenty of evidence to support the belief that the subconscious mind is the connecting link between the finite mind of man and infinite intelligence. It is the intermediary through which one may draw upon the forces of infinite intelligence at will. It alone contains the secret process by which mental impulses are modified and changed into their physical equivalent. It alone is the medium through which prayer may be transmuted to the source capable of answering prayer. The possibility of creative effort connected with the subconscious mind are stupendous and imponderable. They inspire one with awe. I never approach the discussion of the subconscious mind without a feeling of littleness and inferiority due, perhaps, to the fact that man's entire stock of knowledge on this subject is so pitifully limited. The very fact that the subconscious mind is the medium of communication between the thinking mind of man and the infinite intelligence is of itself a thought which almost paralyzed one's reason. After you have accepted as a reality the existence of the subconscious mind and understand its possibilities as a medium for transmuting your desire into their physical or monetary equivalents, you will comprehend the full significance of the instructions given in the chapter of desire. You will also understand why you have been repeatedly admonished to make your desires clear and to reduce them to writing. You will also understand the necessity of persistence in carrying out instructions. The 13 principles are the stimuli with which you acquire the ability to reach and to influence your subconscious mind. Do not become discouraged if you cannot do this upon your first attempt. Remember that the subconscious mind may be voluntarily directed only through habit, in italics, under the directions given in the chapter of faith. You have not yet have the time to master faith. Be patient. Be persistent. A good many statement in the chapters of faith and autosuggestion will be repeated here for the benefit of your subconscious mind. Remember, your subconscious mind functions voluntarily, whether you make any effort to influence it or not. This naturally suggests to you that the thoughts of fear and poverty and all negative thoughts serve as stimuli to your subconscious mind unless you master these impulses and give it more desirable food upon which it may feed. The subconscious mind will not remain idle. If you fail to plant desires in your subconscious mind, it will feed upon the thoughts which reach it as a result of your neglect. We have already explained that thought impulses, both negative and positive, are reaching the subconscious mind continuously from the 4 sources which are mentioned in this chapter of sex transmutation. For the present, it is sufficient you remember that You are living daily in the midst of all manner of thought impulses which are reaching your subconscious mind without your knowledge. Some of these impulses are negative, some positive. You are now engaged in trying to help shut off flow of negative impulses and to aid in voluntarily influencing your subconscious mind through positive impulses of desire. When you achieve this, you will possess the key which unlocks the door to your subconscious mind. Moreover, you will control that door so completely that no undesirable thought may influence your subconscious mind. Everything which man creates begins in the form of thought impulse. Man can create nothing which he does not first conceive in thought. Through the aid of the imagination, thought impulses may be assembled into plans. The imagination, when under control, may be used for the creation of plans or purposes that lead to success in one's chosen occupation. All thought impulses intended for transmutation into physical equivalence, voluntarily planted in the subconscious mind, must pass through the imagination and be mixed with faith. The mixing of faith with a plan or purpose intended for submission to the subconscious mind may be done through the imagination. For these statements, you will readily observe that voluntary use of the subconscious mind calls for coordination and application of all the principles. We'll end there. The hope is you were following as I was reading. And what Napoleon Hill is trying to teach us here, in simple terms, is he's trying to plant an idea. There are a lot of ideas that are in the air each and every day that are coming to you through your five senses. What you see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. That is happening either you like it or not. Someone is calling your name. Someone is touching you. Your eyes are getting information from all sources of media that you can ever imagine. Present day dominating device which transmutes media into your mind is your phone. You're watching stuff on TV each and every day. You're walking around driving your car. You're seeing headlines, billboards. Everything is happening at the same time. People are talking. Phone is ringing. There is information coming and getting to your mind, either you like it or not. That is the reality of the situation. And what Napoleon Hill is trying to plant into your mind is to make you understand that every bit of information which is flowing to you through your five senses has got a place where it is going to be stored. And that place where that information is going to be stored and which that information is going to enter without, either you like it or you don't, either you are aware of it or you're not, is a place which he is referring to as the subconscious mind. So if we come back to this statement concept, how it makes everything simpler is it is two circles, the one at the top, the one at the bottom. The one at the top has been divided into two parts. The top part is called the conscious mind. This is the part of your mind which is connected to your five senses. And because it is connected to your five senses, it is the one that has got the ability to accept or reject any form of information that is coming through. For example, if you hear a song playing on the radio of the genre of music which you do not resonate well with, you've got the ability to shut off your hearing senses so that whatever is being sung, whatever those people are talking about, doesn't move you in any way, doesn't make you feel any type of way. It doesn't either raise your mood or depress you in any type of way. You've got that ability. Each and every person has got that ability to shut off these highways of information according to their subconscious desires. Are we on? Are we still together? I will continue. But there is another part, the bottom part of the circle that is at the top of the mind, which Maxwell Maltz and all the great philosophers, all the great teachers have come to a common understanding of the existence of this part which is called the subconscious mind. This is the chapter which is going to be describing and going into detail about how this subconscious mind influences every action that the body ends up taking. How is it that information that has entered through your five senses has got a storage space where it is going to be stored, from which your body is going to access voluntarily, or either you're aware of it or you're not aware of it? Your body is going to have to move into action. Because what is being called the mind, I told you to tune yourself and to elevate your level of awareness in thinking of everything else that you see or which is not seen in terms of energy. When you start thinking and seeing everything as energy, it becomes easy for you to understand these scientific explanations, so to say. Even biblical explanations are easy to follow. Stories from the Bibles are easy to interpret when you attune yourself to seeing everything and everyone as a mass of energy. So when energy flows through these five antennas, it is going to be interpreted by your conscious mind. Your conscious mind will either accept or reject whatever is entered through your five senses. When it accepts, that information is going to land into the subconscious part of your mind, where subconscious programmings which resonate well with what you relate with are going to be activated and make your body move into a certain level of vibration according to the thoughts that resonates with the subconscious programmings which you will store in your subconscious part of your mind. When that happens, that's when you find people describing the way they are feeling. Then we talk of feeling. So it's thought, feelings, and action. So when people start talking of the way they are feeling, what they are simply doing is they are describing the rate of vibration in which their body is in. So if you receive good news, your subconscious programming is going to activate good and better vibrations, which makes your body feel good, which releases hormones which make you feel good. Dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, all those good hormones, feel good hormones they call them. Biology calls them. And when you ask someone, how are you doing? They will tell you, I'm fantastic. I'm doing phenomenally well. I feel good this morning. How are you doing? And when someone is not feeling well, either it's because of what they have heard. They've been diagnosed of a disease, or they have heard of a disease. They hear that information, it automatically activates a bad vibration into their system. And then the body starts behaving according to the rate of vibration of the subconscious part of their mind. And when you ask them, how are you feeling? Usually they are not jovial, they are not exuberant. They will dim, they will tone down, they will depress, they will suppress. Usually people suppress bad energy. And when they suppress it, they will tell you, I'm not feeling really good today. I think I've got a flu. I'm developing a fever. I think my hypertension is high. All those are just effects of the rate of vibration that has gone into the subconscious part of the mind. But understand what has caused those subconscious triggers. It's what they are consuming, what they hear, what they smell, what they taste, what they touch on a daily basis. Either you're aware of it or you're not aware of it. That is the reality of the situation. So in simple terms, bringing this statement into the whole scheme of things is going to make you understand why it is important for you to continuously join us in Success Elementary and continuously each and every day pay attention to these things that we are continuing to study. I've spent quite a considerable amount of time on read books. You can see my library there. It's just maybe half of it. Trying to gain an understanding of this new language. So I highly recommend that you follow through. Highly recommendation is repetition is the key to learning anything new. There is nothing new that we are continuously going to be reading, always. The new language, we are learning it now. The more we repeat it, the more fluent we are going to become. So my encouragement and my call to you is, don't switch off. Don't turn off. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on notification so that every new lesson that's coming in, you're going to be notified so that you don't miss out anything. Because I know the potential. I've experienced the potential. I still live the potential to this day. And I wish such a beautiful feeling and so much good results for everyone. But it only comes through awareness. It only comes through knowing who you are, your true identity, and what you are capable of doing. Never despair. A lot of people have thrown books away since they finished A-level or they finished O-level. The whole point of this Success Elementary thing and movement is such that you come back to an understanding of what makes you develop and grow. It's understanding. And the only way you can gain understanding is through study. That's the only way that has been proven worldwide. Go in any part of the world. For you to gain understanding, you're going to have to study. Now, study comes in many forms. I'm going to study my audio books if you've got time. And when they read, or when they attend churches, they attend lessons. There are many forms in which people can study. So this is just but one form. If this resonates well with you, pay attention, close attention, and continue to follow. Because it's through this repetition and through this continuous mixing and continuous unveiling of the secret to success that is going to make everything change for the better. Let's hope you had a fabulous lesson today. I totally hope that it was unlike any other lessons, because I can feel it. I can feel the energy coming from me into you. But energy is always flowing to and through everything that is of life. Plants, animals, and human beings involved. You are a part and parcel of the bigger scheme of things. You ought to do better and to be better. You can do better than you are doing now, but only if you have got an understanding of what exactly you need to do and who exactly you are to execute with confidence. And the key thing there that continuously gets mentioned is faith. And the faith that is being talked about is faith based on an understanding. And an understanding can only be gotten through study. So let's continue studying, guys. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. I didn't plan to take most of your time, but that being said, it's always a pleasure. My name is Gilbert Gwaze. Success Elementary is the page. We're now entering into a Zen space, and I want to invite everyone and all of you to join me. If there is any particular topic which has made the most difference, is understanding how the subconscious mind operates. And you're going to continue to explore how it operates in the next lesson that follows after this one. Up until we meet again, Omana, same time, same place. Captain Gwaze. Cheers. Go back to Zen space.